Solemnity of the Epiphany is the solemnity of the star. We have this symbol that we have in all our nativity scenes. And this star comes actually from a prophecy. In the Old Testament, we are in the book of Numbers, chapter from 22 to 24. And there is this king Balak. That is the king of Moab. And this king is a king that is against Israel. So he is hiring a magician to curse Israel. And the magician is Balaam. So Balak is the king of Moab. Balaam is the magician. The magician accepts the job. And he goes on top of the mountain. But on the mountain, he meets the angel of God, who told him, "You're not going to curse Israel, you're going to bless." And so Balaam, the magician, started blessing Israel instead of cursing as King Balak wanted. So Balak got upset, and again he was asking him, "Go and curse Israel." And Balaam was accepting the job, but again, meeting the angel, he was blessing Israel. So from this prophecy back in the Old Testament, thousands of years before what happened, in our Epiphany, we have the idea of this magician, because the three kings, supposedly, they were magicians, people who were able to look at the stars. Usually magicians are charlatans, but these magicians are good magicians. They go and see what is not usually visible. Yes, the essential is invisible to the eye. So these magicians are able to read, to see what people usually don't see, what Herod can see. Herod is the most blind here. Why? Because he is blinded by his desire of human things. He's blinded by himself. He's blinded by the desire of power. And so he can't see. The most important event of history is happening under the kingdom of Herod the Great. And he's not aware of it. Even though they tell him, he's even reading the passage of the Bible where the prophecy says, that the king of Israel is coming. For him, this that is actually a blessing, for him is a curse. And so he does all he can, to cancel the coming of this new king. Even he wants to kill him. Not only him, but all the children in the area. For this the slaughter of the innocents. Herod the Great, the father of the other Herod that will be co-responsible of the death of Jesus. So the Herod the Great is the father. He is the one that we are talking about in the gospel of today. And so this manifestation, this epiphany, and so we say, that Jesus is the light. The light because, peoples are in darkness. And so Jesus is bringing us light, the light of this star. These are all symbols trying to communicate to us one only message. That is the message of always, the message that we always heard. We all know that God is love. And so the Epiphany of today is God showing himself for who he is. Love and true love. And so, we can feel good, receiving this announcement But what is changing in my life after all for this? Okay, we need to go deeper, to understand actually what it means when we say that God is love. It's not any love. The love of God is unconditional love. It is a love that will love you no matter what. It doesn't matter what you do, but He will keep on loving you. And this is something that sometimes we don't find in our prayers, and sometimes also in some passages of the Bible, where we find another kind of God. We find the God that is punishing us, the God that is happy with us only if you do this and if you do that. But the Epiphany of the Lord is not that. The Epiphany is showing us a God that is a child, meaning that He is approaching us with kindness, with total forgiveness. It doesn't matter what you did, it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you will do. God will love you, and He will do whatever He can, what's in His power to save you, to bless you, to protect you, because you are His son, you are His daughter. The discovery of this love, that is a love incredible. It's so incredible that we don't really believe it. Why we don't believe it? Because we don't have that love. In a human perspective, we don't love this way. For us, it's kind of illogic. Do I have still to love somebody if I'm not loved? Do I still have to love if it is not working? We don't do that. We stop. We reach to an extent, and then we say, okay, this is not working. I change. But in the case of God, He didn't stop. You see, the maximum expression of the love of God is the cross of Jesus. And for us, in a human perspective, also the perspective of the apostles, Jesus crucified was not a success. But in the eyes of God, that was and is the greatest success. Because Jesus succeeded in loving to the maximum extent. Because love is not measured by the love that you can solicit, that you can receive back. It doesn't matter. If Jesus came back today on this earth, He would repeat exactly the same things that He did. Even the cross. Because that is the expression of the love of God, and that is the demonstration that as a man you can do it. Jesus did it, Mary did it, Joseph did it, all the saints did it. All those who know that love, understand that love, and try to do it. We may agree up to this point somehow, okay? Maybe you are seeing what I'm trying to say, but still, in your mind there will be this doubt, okay? I understand that, but how do I do it? How do I start? Okay, this here, my advice. Start from the person next to you. Start from your husband, from your wife. Start from your mother, from your son. Start from your brother, from your sister. Start from the person closer to you. Start from that person and try to love that person unconditionally. Why? Because by doing it, you will learn how to do it. Oh yes, it will be difficult, and it's a struggle, every day. But if you never start, you will never learn. This is what really God wants us to do. To learn how to love unconditionally. We will not be able to love everybody unconditionally. That would be really too much. But start from somebody. Start from that person. There was a lady, not this church, of course. She came to confession and she said, Father, sometimes I get upset with my husband. And so when I am upset, I don't prepare breakfast for him. Okay. Okay, according to what we are saying, because I understand that is the temptation. But according to what we are saying, when you are upset with your husband, you should prepare double breakfast. And so your husband in the morning will say, oh, my love, why all this breakfast this morning? Because I was very upset, that's why. You see how things can change. Because the truth is that only love converts. Only love convinces. That is the only thing that works. The other thing, sometimes we are lucky, okay? I would say you can raise your voice maybe once a year. And that could be somehow, sometimes working. But if you do it every week, you will just destroy your relation. It's not going to work. The only thing that works is love, unconditional love, a lot of patience. Today, what I can do for my family, that precisely I will do. They will not understand. It doesn't matter. I do it because I like it, because I like to love. And this is what God is thinking. I like to love because I am love. When you see that in God, then you are like attracted. You feel the attraction toward the love of God. And then you want to do it because you understand what it is. And also you understand that this world is sick. And is sad. And is in the darkness because it doesn't know how to love. That's it. So love is a general word that we use for everything, but today we are trying to transform it into a task, into something to do, something real, something that you can do this afternoon. It's not something that you can plan for the next 20 years. No, it's the following hours, the 2 hours of this afternoon, when you can really decide what you want to do. So, you know what? Instead of having a fight this afternoon for always the same things, you know what? I will do something for you. Because that is the best way that I know to communicate to you, to tell you that I love you unconditionally. That is the only message that can convince the person next to you.